Welcome to hole number one of the Kings Park tournament, played here on the Jubilee Grove course with the new hole location. Setting up the first shot here with the extra mile, and I believe you will definitely benefit from the side spin of the katana ball. You could also bring a kingmaker if that's your style. I'm giving it 4.5 top, 3 bars of left spin, and as you can see, that ball guide is very close to the edge of the bunker. So 10% max is going to be the adjustment here, and as you can imagine, we're going to use as much curl as the extra mile level 6 has to offer. If you have like a 7 or an 8, just use like 1 ball of left curl, and this should get you down to the green very, very nicely. As well, if you have a little bit more top spin, as you can see, another bar, maybe 2, this one could be very, very close. Hole number 2, our first par 3. I'm setting up basically the same as I did before. We're going to bounce underneath these tree branches, just like that. And I want that second bounce to be on the green. Now, because of the headwind here, we're using about 1.5 bars of topspin. You'll have to adjust that according to the tournament conditions, maybe even a little bit of backspin with the tailwind. But all in all, this one is very straightforward, aiming directly at the pin. And we're going to adjust here 15% mid distance. So that's 2.6 if I saw that correctly. Ring pull here for this 3.8 wind. And, you know, I think that all in all, the new hole positions haven't made that much of a difference. I mean, they're fine. They're good. But I don't think you're going to notice that much of a change to this already pretty new course. It's pretty fun. A little bit hot there, but that's where you need to be. Hole number 3, and the drive on this shot is really everything. Too far, you're behind a tree. Too short, you're behind a tree. I'm playing here with this wind, this club, and this ball combination. 4.5 top, 1 bar of right spin. You'll see that I'm making a 10% max adjustment pull here, and I'm going to be using a little bit of overpower. Now, this took multiple attempts to sort of get dialed in, and we're going to have to do the same thing in the tournament. So don't take these instructions verbatim unless you have the exact same wind conditions in live play. But all in all, where this ball comes to rest just past that second shadow should give you a very good look at the second shot. As you can see, you've got a look down to the pin. Too much further, you're behind that tree on the left, and too much to the right, you got trouble as well. You could play this one with a little bit of more backspin if you wanted, but because of the headwind, I play it in exact minimum distance. I play this at 20% min, giving it 2 back, 2 left. This one comes in very, very closely. I think, you know, you always have to think on your feet. You know, you can't just take an information from a guide and just apply it absolutely directly. You have to really look at your style of play, the pull angle of the guide maker, and just a general setup of the shot. You might want to use a different ball here. Having direct headwind, a kingmaker, for example, would really cut down the wind. So always keep that in mind. These are suggestions, they're paths to get you close, but you got to do a little bit of legwork to get it home sometimes. Hole number 4, we've got a setup here that works very, very well in basically all wind conditions. You might have to tweak it a little bit, but generally 4 bars of backspin, and you can see how I'm just lining up the tip of this ball guide, just getting it to the pin. Now, because of the slope of the green here, you kind of want to favor just the left edge of the cup a tiny little bit. And with the sniper level 9, I have that white ring just dipping down into the bunker. 1-to-1 is the pull, which means for every 1 wind, you're going to pull 1 ring. So here in a 2.5 wind, you'll notice that I pulled 2.5 rings. All in all, this one gives you a very good look at it, right at that pin, just where you want to be. Hole number 5, and we need some curl and we need some distance. That curl is going to come in the form of this quarterback, where I'm using like maximum top spin, 4 top, 2 bars of right spin. And that Titan, that power 3 ball, should give us the reach we need for the second shot. I set this one up, as you can see, very close to the tree here. You might want to push this adjustment instead of pulling it. And I'm going to use as much curl as I have. So just maybe a tiny bit of overpower there, but not a whole bunch. I could have used a bit more, but you're going to see from the second shot that it's just fine. It's more than enough distance to get us where we need to be. But like you can see here, there's a good bit more fairway to work with, so it gives you some options. If you've got an APOC, you know, you could use that as well, but all in all, I think QB is a very accessible club. Second shot, you can see lots of distance we can play with. I kind of set it up in this little divot. You'll see where the shadow is, just right there, a little shadow. I don't know. I could probably play at the bottom of that little bump there. 4 back, 2 bars of left spin here, and it cleans up that ball guide very, very nicely. Still not the most consistent shot ever. As you can see, it's a little bit of a funny landing position. There's the 4 back, there's the 2 left, but this one comes in very, very nicely. I've got that second bounce just before the fringe, and I found that to be the spot that gave me the greatest degree of consistency. 10% mid here on this pull. I know it's maybe closer to, a little bit closer to max or whatever, but, sometimes you just have to play it how you feel it. And basically 10% mid is like 1-to-1, but all in all, this one comes in oh so close. Just needed that little hair more, but it's right on line. Hole number 6, this is one of my least favorite par 4s in the game, basically. Setting up here on the left-hand side, you could use a power 5 ball for the second shot. Keep that in mind, but I try to keep these guys cheap, 4 bars of topspin is enough in this wind to get it close to the end of the fairway here. You don't want to go over because you already have a very long shot for the second one. So if you've got direct tailwind, you might only need like 1 to 2 bars of topspin at most. So do practice that. Like I said earlier, don't just take these notes and, run with it perfectly. But there is a little bit of room to work with there, and this will leave you a decent look for the second shot. Second shot, I'm really just trying to get this one to the green. Like the power 5 ball, as you can see, would give you a bit of a play. But I'm showing you this hole in headwind particularly because it's a pain in the butt. And I'm really just trying to get this one close. I use a couple bars of side spin, and I'm going to use a little bit of curl. All in all, 10% max. It's going to be a birdie here. It's just like this is the kind of hole that having higher level clubs and balls is going to be a great advantage. The rough bump is doable, but I just want to show you how difficult this is just to get it down here, put us in, a little bit of a chance, but nothing crazy. Something to definitely spend your time in the tournament to tweak. Hole number 7 here, this par 3, I'm playing it right at min distance because of the headwind. If you have a tailwind here, you're going to have to play a shot with the long iron and bounce it up towards the pin. I'm using 5.5 bars of backspin here and 1 bar of left spin. And I'm leaving that ball guide a little bit short. Normally in headwind, you'd have the ball guide, through the hole. But because of the way it slopes downhill, this one's going to roll down towards the pin. 20% min is the adjustment, and I think this one is a really decent look, especially for headwind. I love whenever I can be an absolute minimum or absolute maximum distance because you're at exactly, that adjustment, and you're not having to tweak, the slider to put us in a better position. But like I said, it's going to roll down here just to the hole right where you want to go. Good luck, guys. We'll see you on number 8. All right, so hole number 8, I'm going to show you one of my, good but not best shots, so that you can have an idea of how this one plays in a difficult situation. I think the power 5 ball with the lower level big topper is absolutely essential, and using a big topper here is the best way, unless you have like a high level Thor's hammer or something, to get this one down into a playable range. So I set it up. You can see here, max top. I'm going to use like at least a bar of left spin. I do want to show you the P3 and why it's a lot more difficult. You'd have to really estimate your overpower to get this one to land at the end of the fairway without clipping that rough. If you clip that rough, you're going to basically give away the eagle, and I don't want you to have to do that. So I make my pull a little bit into the wind here, into the overpower, so I give it just a little bit of overpower and about a quarter ball of left curl. And you'll see how this one comes out very, very nicely with that nice topspin close to the end of the fairway. It's quite a bit of rough, but we got lots of roll here. Now, second shot, I make a mistake, and I want you to see it. I end up playing it at 10% because I have a low-level endbringer, level 3. But in my practice here, in the shots that I did sink, 25% endbringer rule was dropping all the time. Now, if you've got a direct headwind or a direct tailwind, yeah, you're going to be probably fine here with, even the 10 or the 20%. But if you've got a crosswind or a cross headwind, I strongly recommend you play the 25% endbringer rule, okay? Just because you'll see how it comes up a little bit short and to the right because we're not getting enough adjustment out to the left there to compensate for this wind. Hole 8, once you get it dialed, it's not too bad, but like you can see here, how heartbreaking after a decent drive, right? I don't want that to be you. All right, so ending off hole number 9 here with a par 5 as usual. I'm setting up with a Titan and an extra mile. You're going to see that I'm using 4.5 top, 2 bars of left spin, and we're going to use max left curve with this club. If you've got an EM7, 8, or 9, you're going to use like 1 to 1.5 balls of left curl. Yellow ring by the rough here. You could use half that red ring in the rough for safety. A great left would not be safe with this setup. Guys, let me know what you think about this course in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Golf Clash content. I'm always playing this game, and I love to play it with you, and I really love to hear what you think about the videos, the content, what you think could be better, what could be worse. Just let me know. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. So second shot with the sniper here, and I'm going to set this one up very close to max distance. In fact, we'll be just about at max. I use 6.5 bars of backspin and 2 bars. I take away the 2 bars, never mind. 6.5 bars of backspin. And again, the 2 bars of right spin would be nice because it would take you away from that bunker a little bit. So keep that in mind. I don't really like pulling down into bunkers. If you've watched me play any amount of time, you know that I try to avoid that whenever I can. But for whatever reason here, I just thought this was a straighter way to play it. You know, there's not only one way to get it done. There's multiple ways. Instead, I push up a little bit here. So I recommend using the right spin, avoiding the 1 ring of push up because I went into the bunker. But all in all, you see how close this one comes in. Thank you very much for watching the video. Thank you for your time. Good luck to you in this Kings Park tournament. And I can't wait to see you out on the course. Good luck.